Welcome Wanderers to Told You Wood Colors. This is part 2 of completing this page out of 50 Spellbound Aquatic Scenes to color. This is utilizing 2 hashtags at the same time. One would be for Amanda Colors palette hashtag, that is hashtag AC Palette Challenge. And the palette for the month of July 2025 is number 416 from Sarah Renee Clark's Color Cube. And then the other hashtag that I'm using for this page is Finding Joy in Color. She does movies hashtag every month, and for the month of July 2025, the movie is The Lord of the Rings. Her hashtag is hashtag Coloring the Movies 2025. So this might not look Lord of the Rings to you, but as I explained in part 1, there is a scene from the last movie in the trilogy, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, where they have to go get some pirate ghosts on their side for the end battle. And this is just what came to mind when I saw the page. So with that all aside, we're going to get started on the rest of the page. I don't know if we're going to finish everything during this part or not, but we're going to try. It just does seem that in my mind, I can get this done really quickly, but then in reality, it always ends up being a little bit longer. So we'll see how long we take on this. If it's about a half hour, maybe I'll cut it there and then do the rest. But I do have time to sit and color this. So going forward, if I guess I'm going to go through the colors that I have again, because I did draw it out on my sketch pad here. So really quick, Ohuhu markers that are being used for this. And this is the old code system. I know they came out with a new one, I think this month of July. This is the old codes. I have the 216 set of Honolulu B. And in that set, I have Ohuhu marker R19. The next one is G120. The next one is G8. And then we have PB10, PB9, and PB11. So this is all the old codes. I don't know how similar they're keeping things. I haven't really paid too much attention to it because, oh, I didn't close that one all the way. Oh, this is probably dried out. Oh my gosh. We'll have to see how that one works. PB9. I didn't close this all the way. This is days later from my first part 1. So we'll see what happens there. But I did end up getting a whole other set of alcohol markers because I had like 3 or 4 colors drying out, and I knew how hard it was to get the Ohuhu markers. So as soon as I saw them available again, I just bought another 216 set so that I can replace them. So I should be good for a while. So I didn't have to look into the code system just yet, but let's move on. Let's move forward. Let's continue coloring. I have a good picture in mind of what I want to do for the ghosts. I want them to be bright, bright. So I think I want to use G120 and G8 the most. And then we can't forget that in this palette, we have the color white as well. So I'll definitely be highlighting a whole bunch too. And we'll see how that turns out for the ghosts, but I do want them to glow, glow, glow. And I think this G120, this is the brightest color that I have for this palette. I think I'm going to use it only on the ghosts. We'll see. We'll see. So I kind of want this area just so that you guys get an idea of what I want it to look like. So based on the sand here that we have at the bottom, how it goes from dark to light as it comes forward on the page, that's kind of how I want this outside scene to be. So a dark on the outside line and then gets brighter as it goes in. So it might look very similar to this. We'll see. I don't want it to look too similar all around. So maybe we won't start with the PB11 on the outside. Maybe we'll start with the PB9 to tone it down and not be so dark. Let's just do that. We'll start with the outside here because I kind of want to frame it in first before I do the ghosts, because I have a really good idea of what the ghosts to look like, but I just want to make sure. So with PB9, that's what we'll start with. We're going to go around the outside of this. I don't even know what this is because it's kind of like a cave. So maybe it's like rock. I don't know. So we're just going to go around the outside edge. So starting down here, let me make sure you're in frame. Yeah. Okay. All right. So here we go. So today is Monday, July 14th, I think. And I took the day off. I needed the day off. I just needed quiet. I needed to not think of things, and I do have a lot of stuff to get done. So August is right around the corner, and all of my children were born in August. So we were going to do one birthday party for all of them, but my oldest is turning 10 and my youngest is turning 1. So I was like, well, we could do one birthday for all of them or a separate birthday for all of them, which would be crazy. And my idea behind that was everybody gets a different month. Well, the months just came so fast. So I was going to have a birthday party in June, a birthday party in July, and a birthday party in August. And that just didn't happen. Time flies so fast for me, and I'm sure for everybody else, that I just was not able to get that accomplished. So then I was like, oh, well, we'll just have them all on the same day. But then with the youngest being 1, we wanted her to have, you know, her own celebration, her own birthday party for turning 1. So I get very overwhelmed and stressed out for whatever reason when it comes to planning events that I'm going to be hosting and taking care of. I feel like this line needs to be a little bit thicker now that I look at it. I don't... Oh, I hate when I do that because then I have to come back in and then it's going to be lines. So I think I'm going to use 3 colors on this outside edge. And when I went around originally, I was following her lines, if you could tell, her outside lines going around. I was just kind of like keeping it within there. And now I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe we can, I don't know. No, I'm going to go over what we just colored. I'm going to go over that and then blend it in maybe like even halfway. Try to do like halfway as I go back around. So that's what I'm going to work on now. Okay, so yeah, I get very stressed and overwhelmed whenever I have to put something together. I just don't feel like I'm good at it, and just thinking of how everything is going to get put together, I'm not good at it. I'm not a fan of it, and I'd rather just not. So it's very simple event. Like, we don't go crazy at all anyway. It's just going to be like immediate close family coming to celebrate. So it's going to be a tiny little event. Nothing to worry about, but then I worry so much about it because I just want things to be nice, just like we all do. Like, it's a thing. We all want things to be nice when we do stuff like this. So I just have to relax. So thinking about it, like, it's coming up, it's right around the corner because of how fast time goes. Like, I know it's going to be here in 2 nanoseconds. So I was stressing about that already, like just the thought of it. So I was like, I'm going to take the day off. I'm going to color a little bit. I'm going to clean the house a little bit. I'm going to just sit in silence for a little bit. Ah, that sounds nice. So yeah, so that's what today is all about. But I definitely wanted to get some coloring in while I had the time, because I get interrupted all the time when I try to color. And it's totally fine. Like, I live for being a mom. I love it. I love being a mom. But it definitely is a challenge to try to do YouTube at the same time. See, if I was just coloring for me, I wouldn't mind as much. I'd be like, yep, like number one priority, top priority always is going to be the kids and taking care of them for sure. And you know, coloring is just something I want to do on the side. So I wouldn't be as intense with it as I am now, because I want to keep up with the channel. I want to stay, you know, seen. I don't want to put out a video and be very, very sporadic. I know from the very beginning I said I was never going to put a schedule on my shoulders. And I'm glad I at least had half a mind to know that I wouldn't be able to stick to any sort of schedule. But as far as YouTube goes in general, you do have to be present, you know, to make it a thing for yourself. So you do have to be regular with it. And I feel like I don't have a lot of time or the attention to put into that sometimes. So taking this day off, which I don't think I've taken a day off yet this year for myself. So we're in month 7 of the year, and anytime I've taken off from work, it's been because one of the kids was sick and needed to stay home. So this is like a little holiday for me. So I'm having a lot of fun. So we just finished with PB9 and we went about halfway around the edge. Next, I'm going to come in with PB10. And I'm not going to put it all the way to the edge. I think I'm going to leave like the tiniest opening on the edge to create a little bit of that glow feel that we did down here. So we covered most of this sand area with our darker colors. And right at the end, we put our, what was it? A G8. Right? G8 just on the little sections that are peeking out, and look at how it created that nice glow there. So we're going to go around with P10 and try to blend it nicely here. And again, just like we did in part 1, we're going to have to go over PB9 as well. And we're just going to leave a little crack towards the edge, the outside edge, so that we can make this part of the coloring page look like it's glowing a little bit. And I do want to blend these together best I can. So I'm smushing those colors together on that line. And then coloring all the way back to the edge. Here. And again, Kameliya Angelkova is really good with giving you guidelines on how this should be. Maybe I'll leave this little crevice back here. I'm leaving this open to put a darker color back there. And I did bleed over the edge on this side from doing the background, so it'll be a little kooky, but I think all in all, it's going to turn out pretty good. I am going to leave space going around this edge here too, to make that pop out whenever we go in with our lighter color. So I think in this section, maybe if you really want to see what areas to leave uncolored, watch first. If you're following along to color along, watch this section first just to see where you should put your colors, and then go from there. I think I'm going to go all the way to the edge here, like it's creating a shadow from this. What is this? A stalactite. A stalactite hangs from the ceiling and a stalagmite grows from the ground. And the only reason why I remember that, they always find really fun ways to make you remember things when you're in school. And they say the stalactites are held tight to the ceiling so they don't fall. That's the only reason why I remember that. So there you go. There you have it. A little lesson on cave knowledge. We have a tiny little fun cave close to us here. It's about like a half hour away. Maybe even less than that now since I moved. So probably like 15 minutes away from us now. And growing up, every time we passed it, growing up, I was like, oh my gosh, like I want to go there so bad. I bet it looks so cool. And we never went. At least I don't, if we did, I don't remember it at all. But from my knowledge, we never went when I was a kid, and I always wanted to go. I always thought it would be so cool, like, oh my gosh, a cave. And mind you, this cave that we live by is called Crystal Cave. So obviously, oh my gosh, yeah, I want to see it. I want to see what's inside Crystal Cave. That sounds really awesome. And I did eventually get to go to Crystal Cave when I was an adult then. I went for myself. And it was really cool. It really was. But it was such a tiny little cave. And the crystals were more... I don't know. I guess I was thinking of like how the movies are, you know, when the 7 dwarves went in their cave and mined crystals and diamonds and rubies and sapphires and all the things. Like, you know, they make it just look so awesome. So my whole life I've been thinking about this crystal cave and wanting to go, and I finally get to go. And it unfortunately, because of what I had in my head, was like an underwhelming experience because it was so tiny and small. We were there for just a little bit of time because of how small the cave was. Like they took us on our tour and it lasted like 15 minutes. And I was like, oh, no, okay. But yeah. The crystals, what was it like salt crystals almost. I don't remember the exact crystals that were there, and I bet it wasn't just like salt, but that's what it looked like to me. Like if you were grinding your own salt, like that's the kind of crystals that it looked like. It just looked very, I don't know. Like it definitely was like an underwhelming feeling, and I hated that because I love being excited about things, and usually I don't care too much about how anything turns out. I usually build up an experience so much, like I don't even know, like coloring is so exciting, and the way that I could talk about it to people that don't care about coloring, they'd be like, all right, Jen. Chill, it's just coloring. But I'd be like, oh my gosh, but you should try it more. Like I feel like I can turn underwhelming things into really exciting things. But that cave it didn't do it for me. So there are other caves around us. Well, I say around us in different states, but I don't care about the drive. Like I would definitely go if it's like a 3-4 hour drive, yeah, I would go for sure. I would check that out. So there's that. I think I really like the look of that so far. And now you can see how very, very little space I have left open for this G8 color. But I think you'd be surprised how much it'll really add to the glow. And we're going to be putting this G8 color over everything that we just colored, just like we did in part 1 for the sand. We colored over every single color that we put down with G8 down here. So it's going to turn more green on the outside. Do I like that or not? Not necessarily, but I do think it's going to make a difference for our background. So right now these are very similar colors from our background. Well, they're the same color. And that's the tricky part about using all these similar colors, these blues and greens. They are different colors, but because they're in the same family and you're coloring one whole page with them, it is hard to try to differentiate each portion of your picture. So I think by adding the G8 to the outside edge and turning it more of a green, it's gonna really make it pop different from the background. So here we go. We're gonna just go over every single thing that we just colored, including these white sections that we left. And I think it's really gonna make this pop out and glow. It will be similar to the sand on the bottom, but I'm not too worried about that. So here we go. So we're just gonna go over everything. Now, as far as this coral goes on the outside and these leaves wrapping around, I think maybe we just stick with like a simple green color and don't worry about like shading it so much. I don't know. I'm still like thinking about that. I'm not sure what to do. This one almost seems like it's dried out. Like I don't feel like I'm getting as much color down as I was before. I don't know. And here in this section is where I went over, so it's gonna look weird. I'm gonna try my best to really soak this color into the edge here and try to push that out. If you just keep going over it, sometimes it works, and then other times it looks like you really tried to fix something with how it turns out. So I don't want to mess with it too much. But yeah, I was coloring so fast in part one because I had to go to work. And I wanted to get this entire page done. And then whenever I saw how long part one was, I was like, oh my gosh, first of all, I can't even believe I colored that long. Oh yeah, this just feels like it's super dried out. And I don't even think I left the cap open on this one, which is strange. I think the one that I left the cap open on was PB9, and that's the one we just used for the outside. So, ooh. The feeling of your marker going dry is like the saddest feeling. It's so sad. So I'm just like rotating it. I don't know if that helps at all. I'm just rotating my marker here, but I can see the tip of it. It just looks so just because of the fact that my marker feels completely dry, mine now might turn out a little bit different from whatever result you're gonna get if you have a juicy marker. And yeah, we'll just see. And I would say, like, if you don't have these exact colors, it's totally fine. Exact colors don't matter. It's just eyeballing it. Like these colors, I think Amanda picks out Ohuhu markers to I'm not sure how she picks out the colors, because she'll share her her hashtag. She'll share the color palette, but then she'll give like suggested colors for Prismacolors, Copics, Ohuhus, and there's one other one. I always forget that fourth one, I guess because I don't have it. Well, I don't have Copics either, but I forget that last one that she shares. But she'll share the colors, and I'm not sure how she picks those colors based off of the palette. So the last time there was a palette challenge, I don't think that the colors matched too well. And I think it deterred me from wanting to do it going forward, because it just didn't turn out like the way these pictures are. You know, you can see it's an ocean, it's the way that it is. The last one, or one of the last ones, was like a sunset, but then the colors chosen for it were really off the wall. Like, I don't know, I wasn't able to see where the colors chosen were coming from, but I think there might have been like maybe like a website, because I'm trying so hard to put these words together in a sentence and form a thought, but because I don't know the words to them, I'm like struggling to explain what I'm thinking of. So there is like a number to the, is it on the back of here? Yes. Okay. So whatever this number is, I don't remember what it's called. Whatever this number is called, I think there might be like a website or something for those numbers, and then that's possibly how Amanda chooses the colors. I'm not sure, I have no idea, but that's like my guess. That's what I'm thinking. And I don't know, the last one just didn't match up, and that is why, this is what I'm getting at, that is why I came up with my own colors for this. These aren't the colors that came with Amanda's palette. And I do realize that it is a little bit more on the green side, but if you look at like the image itself, I'm kind of just using the image instead of the actual colors here, because whenever I laid it out on this, I got my sketchbook out and I did this and I was like, oh, like, yes, I could see it broken down and I could see those colors in this image. So I made it work. I said it was okay. So they're not the exact colors that were chosen, but I don't know. I didn't have a good time with the last one, so I wanted to pick my own colors. And I think the way that the picture is too, it's coming out really nice. Like the thought process behind making it like the Lord of the Rings pirate ship. I forget what that's called too. But let me see if you're still in frame here. Yes. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's coming together really well, especially since in Lord of the Rings, it's a little bit more on the green side too. So I like it. I think it's fun. So you see how that green color really makes a difference from the background, because there's no green in the background. It's these blues and then like an aqua, like a tealy aqua going up closer to the top. And then on the edges and the sand, it's green. So I really like that look. It really separates the image from the background scene. So I like that. So I grabbed my R19 marker because the next thing that I know I have a solid thought on is turning these little sea shells, sea sand dollars. I'm not sure what these are. I don't think they're sand dollars, but they're something. I'm going to turn these into the R19 because we won't have a lot of this on the page, and I just want to break up a little bit from all the green and blue that's happening. So I'm just going to use this, and then I don't know if I'm going to add to it. Maybe we'll do like we did on the sails here. Let's grab the G120 really quick while it's still wet, I guess, and maybe go around like the bottom edge to show that it's like glowing from what it's sitting on a little bit like that. It works, I suppose. So we'll just do that for the rest of them. Just want to break up those green and blue colors and get these out of the way. So there's that. So it kind of makes it look like things are glowing onto them. My markers bled onto this one, so I kind of want to rub out those colors. And then I guess we'll put it along the bottom here. And then we'll do these three at the same time. Yeah, I'm sorry if what I talked about through this video kind of sort of didn't make sense or go together at all. But sometimes it is hard to color and form a thought at the same time. So I think I do okay. Most of the time I like to keep it to explaining what I'm doing when I'm coloring. So you have the thought process behind what I'm doing, and sometimes I'll explain something before I do it to also explain why I'm about to do something the way I'm about to do it. And if you don't like it, or if you don't want your page to go the same direction as me, you can change it as we go. You don't have to keep it the same. You could just color with me. You could be coloring a completely different page right now. Who knows? But yeah, that's just my thought process on this. So I like to share that, and it does give me something to talk about throughout the video, because I don't want it to be in complete silence. I'm here all by myself, and I feel like I have a bunch of friends with me. So thanks, guys. All right, so for these two down here, I am just going to color them to match the way these are looking up here. So what was that? Did we do PB10 and then we came over it with the G8, correct? I think so. So let's do that now. We'll do the PB10. We did that in the middle, just going up, boop, boop, boop. And then this over here, like that. And we leave the edges open for the G8. And we're just gonna color over the entire thing. There we go. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what am I gonna do for this grass stuff here? Maybe. I think my struggle is the limited colors that we have to pick from, and I have no idea what I'm gonna do the boat as. So I can picture the ghosts perfectly fine. So these I'm picturing as like a bright, our lightest green. So that's gonna be the G120. I don't know if I'm gonna throw any of the R19 on them. I don't think I will. I think I'm gonna keep it to our brightest green, which is G120, and then go over them with either my any kind of white gel pen or white acrylic pen that you have, just to give it like a ghosty look. So you know what, let's just do that now. Okay, so G120. Should we get a colorless blender out? Do we really need, because I feel like the colorless blender is gonna add texture to them more than anything, so maybe not. No, let's just color them with G120, and then we'll alter them with the either like a white gel pen that you have or a white paint pen. Don't color the eyes unless you want to. I don't want to. And we're not in any rush, so we can calmly color around them so that we don't bleed anything over. There we go. Oh yeah, I love how they're just glowing. That's so cool. So yeah, I'm just gonna straight color the ghosts with this color, the G120. And see how this is our lightest green color yet, and we haven't really used it anywhere else on the page. So it's really helping these ghosts pop out on the page because it's a completely separated color from the mixture of everything that we laid out so far. So I really enjoy that. And that is why I'm so stuck on what to do the grass pieces in, because I really want these ghosts to stick out, but maybe maybe we can color them with a mixture of this color and the next darker color. And because the ghosts are going to be mixed with white, if we mix this color with a darker green for the grass, that'll give us the difference that we need to separate the two colored pieces. I don't know. I really hope that what I say makes sense to you guys when I say it. In my head, everything makes sense. Oh my gosh. So. Alright, these guys are almost done. They're so fun. I love her pictures. They just make me so happy. It's just like Lulu Mayo. Like, they're so quirky and imaginative, different. You don't have to color anything, any certain type of color. Like, you just make it your own, and I think that's why I enjoy their books so much. One, because this is a more simple way to color. It's very mindless, and it's not going completely in the direction of what a like a mandala would be, even though I have been looking at Kameliya's mandala books as well. But I don't know, it's just something small and fun. I love working with alcohol markers. I really, really do enjoy it. And it just makes it so fun. So my idea, let's see. So maybe we take PB10. You know what? No, let's go a little bit darker. Let's go with our darkest color, actually. Let's go with PB11. And what I'm going to do with PB11, I'm going to use the fine tip on this. And I'm just going to trace over the line in the center of these leaves with the fine tip of PB11. So we're just doing the center line. Oh gosh, I went over. Carefully. Carefully. Oh my gosh. My hand is shaking now because I did that. Now I'm like nervous. What am I doing? Okay. So I just want these to stand out a little bit. So we're just making that line a little bit more apparent. Okay. And then with G8, right? Yeah. No, I'm gonna do PB9. PB9, I'm just gonna go over it with the brush tip, so I'm leaving the edges of these leaves open once again. So, oh gosh, I opened the other side, the brush tip. This is the one that I left open, and it still feels pretty decent. So just the edges. It bleeds so much though, so I mean, it's okay. I don't really know what my thought is on, like, I couldn't picture it as a finished product, so I guess we're gonna find out soon. Okay, so there's that, and then I'm gonna do the brightest green, the G120, to go over the edges. So oh, this is weird. Ooh, yeah, this is weird mixture. I'm coloring over all of it. It's like tie-dye. Oh, I went over the edge. Why am I being so messy with this page? I don't know. I do like how dark they are because I wanted it to not be so bright, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know. It's getting, like, when it comes down to the final details of a page, especially when you're working with similar colors like this, I find it gets very difficult for me towards the end to decide where I want colors to go, because I feel like I already have these colors everywhere. So I just get confused then on, okay, well, I already used all these colors. What am I gonna do now? Okay. I don't think that's too bad. I think the darker color was necessary to have it stand out from this background image. And actually, talking about darker colors, let's do PB11 and just go over some of these lines that Kameliya has on the illustration going around this like rock wall. Am I gonna do the fine tip or am I gonna do the brush tip? I think we'll do the fine tip. And I'm just gonna do the very like outside lines here. We'll start with the outside and we'll see if we'll do the rest of them. So just to create like a more prominent like shadow back here. Oh, I feel like I need to turn my page now. I'll see what I can do. Usually when I'm doing stuff like this, I don't want to turn the book too much, but then I feel like I could have done a better job if I turned it. I don't know if anybody cares or not that I'm turning my book. We're going to create a shadow under these guys. So I'm using the fine tip here. And I think at this point, I am going to finish this page during this part 2. I have the time. So I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna create my own kind of line back here. I'm just gonna go over the edge, the very edge there. Okay, so that seems good. Do I want to do it back here at all? Or back there? Maybe I'm gonna trace this guy, this side, so that it's like a shadow on the wall. There, like that. Ooh, that really makes it pop out. I love that. So we'll do it here for this one too. Oh yeah, I love that. Just kind of makes it pop off the page. There. Cool. Okay, and anything else? Maybe some shadow lines behind here. Oops, I went over my grass. Ay, ay, ay. And this is already pretty shadowed. I guess I'll just create like there. Yeah. And there. That's fine. Okay. So that helps. I don't know. I feel like something's missing up here as far as something darker goes. I think I'm gonna do this space here. And this. Okay. Maybe that helps. I don't know. Should I do this side too? This is my coloring process. Okay, just like that. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay. All right, so that's enough of that. This boat, well, we have the coral down here too. What are we gonna do with this? Maybe should we just make it dark, dark blue? Dark, dark blue, because this is like a brighter section over here. We have dark blue down here and dark blue up here. Yeah. All right, so with PB11, I'm just gonna use PB11 like on the middle section. Oh, I want my brush tip. So PB11 for the main portion of this, and then we'll get a little bit lighter, probably with the PB9 to blend with it, like that. And you know what? Let's do PB10 because that'll really, really make this pop. PB10 and just go over it all. At least I think so. Let's see how that goes together. See, I just really struggle with these colors after using them for a while. All right. I don't know. I feel like that blends so much into what we have there. I don't know, but it is what it is. So next up, do I want this flag to be this color, this R19? And what is the boat gonna be? Should the boat be a brighter green, but not as bright as the ghosts? That's a lot of green then. I'm thinking maybe the dark blue on the bottom, and we're just gonna raise it up just like we did the sand and just like we did from the outside, but then it's gonna be green again. I don't know, and that's a lot of the same mixture that we used in the whole entire page. I think I'm gonna do this flag with this color. Yes, let's just do that. We just need to decide on something and get her done. And we can't forget that we still have white as an option. But I mainly want to leave the white for the ghosts. Okay, I was just going over this because I had marker from the background bled onto the flag. So what about this boat? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I'm thinking the dark blue. See, I feel like the problem is the dark blue is our exact background of where this boat is sitting on. So I feel like it's gonna be tough to use this color on the boat because that's the background color that it's sitting on. So if we use the same exact color, it's going to not stand out as much. But then at the same time, if we just stick to greens, I don't want it to look like the ghost too much. But maybe if we start with PB10. Okay, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna do PB10 as a line going down the center of the poles here. Okay, so PB10 just as a line going down the center. And I guess we gotta do the tops of these sails as well. I'm gonna do the bottom half. They're so tiny. Maybe I should get my fine tip out. Yeah, because this is just so skinny. Oh my gosh, even that was a little too much. The way that it bleeds too. So I'm just trying to keep it to the bottom. Okay, so PB10 there, and then I'm gonna get G8 and go over that. Just kind of have that like glow, hopefully. We're gonna go over everything, color it in, there, and the rest of the bowl. Okay. All right, so that was that. Not too bad, I suppose. And maybe do PB10 on this little swirl coming up this and the top edge of the boat as well. Yeah, let's see. I see that's already looking very similar to the outside edge. I just don't know how I feel about it. This is very difficult for me because of how similar all these colors are. I'm only going to do the bottom half of this pole and get fairly close to the edge. See how there's just a little bit of white left? So I'm going to do that with that. I'm going to do that with this here. I'm going to get very close to the edge but not touch. And how am I going to do this one? The center, and just bring it around and then change sides as it comes down. So I want to keep that edge to the outside edge. All right, so there's that. And then again, what color were we using? The G8. G8, and we're gonna go over it. Yeah, you know what? Let's go over it with the G8. Okay, I can kind of picture it a little bit now. We're gonna go over everything in the G8. We're coloring over the whole thing. Really trying to blend that together once again. All right, that looks nice. I just worry about it because it just looks so similar from everything else. And guess what, guys? It's a coloring page. We're not selling this, you know. It doesn't have to be perfect. I think the process about this is fun because it's really making me think about how to put the colors together. I do like coloring pages that make me work hard for it, but we don't have to overcomplicate things, so we should just relax. So that looks fun, and I do like how it is darker than the ghost. I definitely want the ghost to be the brightest thing on the page, and once we bring in the white as well, they're really gonna stand out and pop. The sails are kind of bothering me, so I think I'm gonna go in with the G8 and go over top of the lines from the illustration. I think I'm just gonna go over them just a little bit to really make them stand out just a bit more, because we used our lightest green, the same green that we used on the ghosts for these before initially. And I think I just want it to stand out just a tiny, tiny bit more. So I'm really being light. I'm not pressing hard at all to keep that line pretty thin. I'm going to bring this one down a little bit more, extend it from the illustration lines on the edges. So go over here. Go a little bit further with this one, and that one was pretty good. Okay. I'm just trying to think if I wanted to add any green to that top flag, but I guess we'll leave that as is for now. And then, okay, so as far as the boat goes, this section up here is PB9. So maybe we can do a mix of PB9 and PB10, which is the background. The background color is PB9 and PB10. Here, maybe we can bring that down to the boat, since we have a lot of green going on, and true blue in this is mainly the background. So I think I want to bring that back out a little bit just on the boat to differentiate these colors from each other. So I'm going to start with PB9 on the bottom, and then PB10 will blend to it on the top. And I do believe we're going to have to go over the PB9 with the PB10 to blend them nicely. So let's do the bottom half. And I'm going up a little bit higher this time because I feel like every time I've done this so far, I didn't go far enough. So now I'm making sure that I go far. So a little bit over halfway, actually, with, what are we? PB9. PB9 is one of my favorite colors from the set. Do you guys find yourself picking colors that, like, the same colors all the time, and you're just like, what color am I going to use for this? This one. And it always ends up being like one of the same colors that you're constantly using. That's PB9 for me. I think R280, is it R280 or R260 is another color that I use quite often. I don't know, there's something about those colors that are just, they just seem perfect for any situation in your page. So PB10, we're gonna blend it down into what we just colored, and again, I do believe we have to go over the whole thing unless we just feather it. Because if you remember in part 1, feather, feather, feather. We'll see. I think this was a good choice for the boat. Sometimes you just have to, I don't know, that is how it is for me. If I cannot picture how something is going to turn out, it needs to be left for last so that I can see all the other elements come together on the page, and then I can decipher. Yeah, I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom with this. Yes. I really just couldn't picture this boat at all. I couldn't picture it, especially, I think the more that I added to the page, the less I was confident in coloring this boat. But I think these colors really work for it. And I think not having it green makes it better. And then you had to watch out because that background color is the dark blue, so we couldn't really use that. So yeah, it was a whole thing, but I like it. I like how that turned out. So that's the main portion of it. I feel like I could add either PB9 or PB11 to some other elements on the page to give them deeper shadows. Especially like the bottom of the boat area. I think I do need to come in with the PB11, and just this bottom section here at least, color that the darker color to really give it a shadow. I think we'll just come across the top here, just like that. All right, and then, I don't know, do we want to go over some of the lines? Maybe, yeah? I'm doing it. All right. Yeah, that works. Okay. And then anything else? Oh yeah, this line down here. We'll get that. All right. And anything else? Oh, I was looking at these earlier. They were kind of bothering me. I don't like how they're all like solid color, but I don't know what color to add to them. Maybe this G8 color. I'm gonna get the fine tip. I'm just gonna go in the centers of them, I guess. I don't know. I'm doing it. Once again, I'm just doing it. I'm going in the center. They just feel like they need more to them. So I'm gonna go over the lines. I guess in this situation, since it's like underwater and the ghosts there kind of, you know, give you the feeling of decaying, you know, these sea things just look too clean and polished for a decaying scene. So I wanted to add a little bit more to them. I guess these swirly whirly bits too. Here. We'll add just a little bit more to them. And maybe with PB9, fine tip, we can add some spots to them. Oh yeah. Oh, that looks better. When in doubt, add the dots. I think that really adds to like the grimy, decaying look of it. And that looks better. Dots for sure. Okay. I love how Kameliya Angelkova adds dots to her things. It just is so helpful in determining where shadow lines should be and stuff like that. And I just love it. So we're gonna add some dots of our own. There we go. And anything else? I do want to come in with the white. I think on the ghosts, I want to do white acrylic marker and kind of like put a line down and then smudge it with my finger to really give it like a transparent ghosty feel. But what do I have up here? I've got my jelly roll. I'm not a fan of adding highlights most of the time. And I don't know why. I just don't either. I think I'm not good at it, or I don't know the best places to put it, but I'm just gonna play around with it, I suppose. We're gonna add here and here. Like I really just, I think I'm better at shadows than highlights. Yes. I'm gonna create here. And I don't know why. If you can determine where a shadow should be, you should be able to determine where a highlight should be. But again, I think it's just the bright white lines of the highlights that you get from the jelly roll. Like I love seeing it on other people's pages, but when I do it, I just feel like it looks so cartoony. But then saying that out loud, it's funny because look at the page that we just colored. Like it's literally like a cartoon. This is not realistic in the slightest, you know? So it's like funny for me to say, well, oh, I don't think the white highlight lines are realistic. It's like, well, you're not coloring realistic things. So I guess we'll just trace this edge here, the whole side edge. Then I have a problem with my pens too. Everybody praises like the white Signo and the jelly rolls, but I feel like the tip of both of them, like if I go over it too many times, and maybe I just need to practice more, maybe that's all that it is, but I feel like the tip of mine like creates what is it, like a spot where I can't fill in to color. Like it, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like it's hard to explain. Like when I go over it too many times, it almost like pushes the gel away from the area that I'm trying to draw on instead of highlighting that area. So maybe I just need more practice with it, or maybe I need a press lighter. The lighter I press on this, the easier it seems to go down. I am very heavy-handed, so maybe that makes sense. I'm gonna try to do this too. Oh, that looks so nice. I think on this page, for sure, the white highlights look really awesome because you have everything being the same color. So it really helps these images stand out. Here, here. I think I'm going pretty crazy on this, but, and I'm not used to doing this like at all. You'll hardly see highlight lines on any of my pages. I'm really uncomfortable and not confident enough about them to like learn where to put them. So I just don't do it. But this is fun. All right. So we'll do that there. I also do want to add little lines here going around. Just randomly. It doesn't have to be on every single one. Sometimes if you do it on all of them, like I do think there is a point where you need to not do it. I think it's too much sometimes. So it's like learning what is too much and what isn't. That looks decent. And then I think I want to go over the outline of all the ghosts for sure. I don't think I'm gonna put any more highlights down. No, right? Oh, maybe a little bit down here. Or should it be like spotted because the shadows are spotted? Ooh, we'll do like a sketchy little highlight section down here. There we go. Try to match what's happening down there. Okay, so that's enough. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go in, outline this, and then we'll be good. I think we're going into about an hour of recording now. I didn't want it to be too long. Maybe I should have broken this up into 2 parts so it was like a half hour and a half hour. I don't know. But I'm having so much fun. And looking at the page, it's so hard for me to determine how long something is going to be to color. So looking at a page, it's like I don't think I would have been able to determine what the halfway mark would have been. So that's all right. So we're going over the illustration lines, and maybe I'll come back after this. Maybe I'll cut out. We're just gonna go over all the illustration lines. I'm gonna let it dry a little bit, and then I'm gonna come back in with the a white acrylic paint marker to add a little bit more transparency to the ghost. So I'm gonna cut out, all I'm gonna do is outline all the ghosts. I'll be right back. All right, so I finished going over the lines of all the ghosts in white gel pen, and I have this Artex acrylic marker in white that I'm going to use. I'm just going to, I think, start from the bottom of the tails and just brush up a little bit and kind of smudge them with my finger going up, and then that'll be it. I'll be all done. So, oh, I gotta keep you guys in frame. So we're almost done. And I don't have a lot of experience with these at all. So, yeah. But I'm just gonna smudge it up. Maybe, maybe not. I know these are more transparent, so that's why I definitely wanted to use this. Oh, you can kind of hardly tell that I put that on towards the bottom. And then, okay. So yeah, I really like that look of it. But I want the main ghost to be like a green color for sure. So do that. I think that looks really awesome. And do this. And smear it. And I don't know, maybe this guy's head portion is a little bit smaller. And back here. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure it was still recording. It sounded like I was getting a phone call. So, okay, this, and go up to here and smudge that out. There. Okay. Yeah, I really like this. Look. A lot. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know where else to put white. I'm nervous about that. Maybe in the flags a little bit. Ooh, should we put in the flags a little bit? Maybe. Let's see. I'm like halfway standing up. I kind of went over the line a little bit. Let's see, maybe keep it like white on the edges. Oh, I went over big time. Okay. I do like the fact that these are more transparent, because as a beginner, things being transparent is always good for practice. Awesome. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's where I'm going to leave the page. That was so fun to do. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this portion was definitely a longer video, and having things in 2 parts, sometimes people aren't as willing to watch just because it's long and drawn out, but I just prefer talking through the process and explaining why I'm doing certain things. If you learned anything from this, I'm really excited and happy about that. If you did learn something, let me know what you learned. I'll try to be more expressive. If I get the time to do these kind of videos, that's what I like to do. I like to explain my process. So if you got anything out of this at all, let me know. And I hope you had a good time. Let me know if you plan on tackling this same exact page the way that I did, or in 50 Spellbound Aquatic Scenes to color, or if you are using similar colors for this color palette as well. What page are you going to use it on, and how are you going to do it? So thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I really do appreciate it. Give me a like on the video for all the work and effort that I put into this. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I hope the visual was good and my hand wasn't in the way too much. And I also hope you were able to hear me. And yeah, I hope the way that I tried to explain things came across best that it could. I know I really have a hard time finding words to put together sometimes, especially during coloring. I don't know what it is. You get so focused, and then you know you're talking, but you end up not even knowing what you're talking about at the end of it. So anyway, I digress. Thanks so much, guys. I hope you have a great and colorful day. Bye.